Imagine this: a Saturday morning, a bustling pottery studio filled with the rhythmic hum of wheels and the scent of wet clay. Sarah, engrossed in centering her clay, a wobbly mound that stubbornly refused to cooperate, was completely focused. Frustrated but determined. Across the room, Mark was wrestling with his own ceramic challenge, a lopsided bowl that threatened to collapse at any moment. He chuckled to himself, a sound of self-deprecating amusement. Neither of them were there to find love. They were there to create, to get their hands dirty, to lose themselves in the process. Sarah, finally managing to coax her clay into a semblance of a cylinder, glanced up, catching Mark's eye as he simultaneously looked over, a shared smile passing between them, a silent acknowledgement of the struggle, the small victories, the sheer joy of working with the earth. It wasn't a lightning bolt moment, no dramatic music swell. It was a simple, unforced connection, born not from a search, but from a shared passion, a shared space, a shared presence in the moment. They weren't looking for anything, yet in that pottery studio, something beautiful began to take shape, something far more profound than the clay on their wheels. So what was it about that pottery studio moment? Why did that simple interaction spark something more? It connects back to some core Taoist principles we've touched on before, Wu Wei and Di. Remember Wu Wei? It's not about doing nothing, it's about effortless action, that sense of flow, of aligning yourself with the natural current of the Tao. In relationships, this means releasing that desperate need to force a connection. It's letting go of the pressure to project a perfect image, to be someone you're not. It's about being present, being responsive, allowing the interaction to unfold organically. Think of two dancers improvising. They're not rigidly following a set choreography. They're listening to the music, to each other's bodies, responding in the moment, creating something beautiful and unique precisely because they aren't forcing it. That's Wu Wei in a relationship, a dance of responsiveness. And then there's Di. We've talked about Di as that inherent virtue, that inner power that arises when you're living in harmony with the Tao. It's your authentic self, your integrity, your unique essence. In the context of relationships, Di shines through as genuine connection. It's the attractiveness that radiates from someone who is truly comfortable in their own skin. Consider this. In physics, two tuning forks, vibrating at the same frequency, will resonate with each other. One starts vibrating, and the other, without being touched, begins to vibrate as well. It's a natural attraction, a sympathetic response. When you are authentically yourself, expressing your unique frequency, you naturally resonate with those who share that authenticity. It's not about forcing it, it's about allowing that resonance to happen. It is like those intricate courtship displays we see in some bird species. They are not forcing, they show their genuine qualities. Forced efforts often backfire. As the Tao Te Ching suggests, the greatest skillfulness often seems clumsy. The most beautiful connections are often the ones we least expect, the ones that arise from simply being ourselves. This natural resonance we've been talking about is deeply connected to another key Taoist principle, Ziran. You'll recall that Ziran speaks to naturalness, spontaneity, that just so-ness of things. It's about allowing life to unfold without imposing artificial constraints. In relationships, Ziran is about resisting the urge to force things onto a predetermined timeline or to mold a connection into some preconceived ideal. Think of a jazz ensemble. They're not playing from a rigid, unchanging score. Each musician brings their own unique voice, their own instrument, their own style to the performance. They listen to each other, they respond, they improvise. The beauty arises from that interplay, that spontaneous co-creation, that willingness to let the music evolve organically. Healthy relationships are much the same. They are dynamic, evolving systems. Or consider the intricate web of life within a thriving ecosystem. Each organism, from the smallest microbe to the largest predator, plays a vital role. There's an interconnectedness, a delicate balance, and no single entity is trying to control the whole. Relationships, too, are interconnected systems, where each person's individuality contributes to the overall dynamic. It is similar to a writer crafting a novel. A good writer doesn't always force the plot in a specific direction. They allow the characters to develop, to surprise them, to lead the story where it needs to go. They trust the process, allowing the narrative to unfold naturally. What if, instead of desperately searching for the one, that perfect, idealized partner, we shifted our focus? What if, instead, we concentrated on becoming someone's one, cultivating the very qualities, the very essence that we desire in a partner? What if we allowed the relationship, whatever form it takes, to simply be, to unfold in its own time, in its own way, embracing the beauty of that emergent process? There's a paradox at the heart of seeking, especially when it comes to love. We often believe that finding the right person will somehow complete us, fill a void. But this intense focus on the external, on what we lack, can lead us to neglect something crucial: our own inner potential. Remember Pooh? The uncarved block? It represents that untouched potential within each of us, the raw material of our being, waiting to be shaped, not by external forces, but by our own self-awareness and cultivation. When we're constantly seeking validation from others, desperately searching for someone to complete us, we're essentially ignoring the uncarved block within ourselves. We're overlooking our own capacity for growth, for wholeness, for self-worth. We are looking for the answer out there, when a crucial piece of the puzzle lies within. Imagine a sculptor, obsessed with finding the absolute perfect piece of marble, spending all their time searching quarries, neglecting to develop their own sculpting skills, their own artistic vision. The perfect marble, in this case, represents that idealized partner we're searching for. But without the sculptor's developed skills, representing self-love and inner work, even the most beautiful marble will remain just a block of stone. Or consider a programmer endlessly searching online for the perfect pre-written code library to solve a problem, instead of taking the time to truly master the fundamental principles of programming. They're looking for an external shortcut, neglecting the development of their core skills. Think about the peacock. Its magnificent display is only truly impressive if it's backed by genuine health and strength. It's not just about the show, it's about the underlying vitality. That underlying vitality, that inherent strength and well-being, is a reflection of D. And our own sense of well-being, when cultivated, reflects our D outward. A show without substance will ring hollow. And consider that person, that you have certainly seen, who is constantly seeking approval, always looking for external validation, their sense of self-worth dependent on the opinions of others. They're trapped in a cycle of seeking, neglecting their own inner compass, their own inherent value. What if the void we so desperately try to fill with a relationship, with external validation, is actually a void within ourselves? What if it's a sign that we haven't fully embraced our own Pew, our own uncarved potential? This brings us to a deeper, often overlooked problem: the profound impact of a lack of self-love on our ability to form and sustain healthy, fulfilling relationships. So, we've journeyed through the Taoist landscape, exploring how authentic connection blossoms not from frantic seeking, but from embracing Wu Wei, that effortless flow, allowing relationships to unfold naturally, guided by Ziran, and radiating our genuine selves, our D. We've seen how forcing things, clinging to expectations, or projecting a false image can actually push away the very connections we crave. We learned that those struggles might have a deeper root. That constant search for external validation can be a sign that we're neglecting the uncarved block within, our own Pooh, our own inherent worth. A lack of self-regard quietly undermines our best efforts. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't chase after ships, frantically trying to pull them into harbor. It simply stands tall, shining its light steadily, providing a beacon, a safe guide. Our self-love, that deep sense of inner worth and acceptance, is like that inner light. We've seen how the Taoist principles of effortless action, naturalness, and authentic virtue can guide us towards fulfilling relationships without the desperate search. But what happens when the root of our relationship challenges lies within? What if a lack of self-love is sabotaging our ability to connect deeply and authentically? Join us in the next video where we'll explore this vital connection: how cultivating self-love from a Taoist perspective not only enhances our own well-being but also creates the foundation for stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling bonds with others.